And a winner is USA, The Problem with Cutscenes, by Brent Houston. Cutscenes feel like rewards. Whether you realize it or not, you agree with this statement. A cutscene is a coffee break, a nice attaboy for my slaughtering of yet another dozen goblins. Cutscenes have evolved into prominent narrative devices. Whether you like it or not, a controller only has so many inputs, and sometimes a story is going to need a player character to do something other than shoot. So a player fights his way to a certain point with the limited controls, and he is given a non-interactive scene to watch. This philosophy is all well and good. However, once the shine of cutscenes wears off, we're forced to ask the question, were the cutscenes more enjoyable than the gameplay? Really, the question is moot, because either way the game loses. If the gameplay is more enjoyable than the cutscenes, then why the hell does the developer interrupt my experience? And if the cutscenes really are better than the gameplay, why isn't this just a movie? There's also the inherent problem with disconnect. If a developer is relying heavily on cutscenes to tell a story, the gameplay can feel inconsequential to the narrative. Kill a bunch of dudes, see more of the story. Push a block onto a button, see more of the story. If video games truly are a narrative medium, why do they have to rely on non-interactive segments to tell a story? Of course, games have attempted to address this quandary. Some games, such as Resident Evil 4 and God of War, have made the cutscenes interactive through QuickTime events. Other games, such as Assassin's Creed, allow the player to retain limited control of the avatar. These solutions are interesting, but they are thinly veiled. Although the player holds on to some limited interactivity, the core gameplay is still interrupted. Some games, like Valve's Half-Life series and Portal, have abolished cutscenes altogether. Through the limited perspective of a specific protagonist, the player wholly participates in the entire story, gathering pieces of the narrative contextually. Another example is BioShock, where much of the story is gained through audio logs and incoming transmissions. While these games definitely work, their perspective is limiting. Any events the protagonist isn't privy to have to be experienced in the past tense. Metal Gear Solid 4 offered another solution, split screen. While the game definitely didn't skimp on cutscenes, there were two instances in the game where cutscenes not involving the player played out concurrently with gameplay. As Solid Snake, the player controlled one series of events, while events not directly involving Snake played out in split screen. This was particularly effective. The simultaneous events added importance to Snake's actions, and the gameplay added context to the cutscenes. But not every solution is best told from a limited perspective, and it will only take a few copycats to render the split-screen solution cliché. The challenge to developers lies in the importance of the player's gameplay actions. Interactivity is what separates video games from other mediums. It has to be embraced. My tribulations during gameplay need to matter in order for cutscenes to be effective. The second I go from fighting a battle to simply killing yet another Nazi is the moment that I start slogging down the road until my next reward.